it. That will help me understand that maybe going live is causing that. Okay. Okay, I believe yeah, I'm live streaming now. We're good there. All right, so we're going good. All right, so if I'm not glitching right now, then we're able to handle it. Yeah, Uber reported earnings and dropped a couple of dollars from 70.50 to 69. So $1.50. It dropped $1.50. Joe's got 65 puts. Yeah, that's just not how those lottos work. Yeah, those lotto ERs are good. Were good, but just didn't happen. All right, I don't know why Joe doesn't join us every morning. I think he has school or something. Well, welcome in, everybody. Let's see. This morning we've got, what do we got in biggest caps? ENPH is up 18%. We love that one. Let's take a look at it. Okay, that's up huge. What kind of volume are we talking? The volume is 235K. That's not enough volume. All right. Well, that's not the greatest. We got $4 billion company up 13%, and that is Sedge. Okay, and its volume levels are 129,000. Again, I feel very doubtful about these numbers I'm getting from Thinkorswim, but I think they are correct. Okay, we have super hot volume, like over 1,000% RVol on Holo and Mr. DB. Let's see, Mr. DB. Yeah, it's up from 24 cents to 42 cents, but I'm not in love with the way this chart just broke down. And it's a penny stock also. Holo, which is microcloud hologram, was at like $1.50 and is now $3.50. Holo is up 133% on 132.45% on 1,000% RVol. So that one has what it takes for you to either catalyst swing trade it or intraday day trade it, scalping, or both, or all of the above. It looks like it had a split. Hold on. There was a recent split, and so now it pops 3 days later. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, definitely take it with a grain of salt. Because it's a penny stock that's just been garbage. Just a garbage penny stock. Okay? So, probably you don't want to be swing trading it. But, it's your life, and these are your decisions. But it is up 133% on 1,000% RVol. And so that brings opportunities in the chart. Pre-market is nice. It keeps stair-stepping up, and it doesn't break VWAP. I mean, these are all good things. So it might be a place for you to scalp with some profit out of Holo. All right, moving down the list, we got a $15 billion company, YumC, up 10.5%. It popped on earnings, it looks like, and then it has faded almost half of the move. That's Yum China Holdings. It was 37.44 in anticipation of earnings. It was up yesterday. No, yesterday all China stocks were lifted up. So you couldn't really give that too much merit. But this morning now it's up, almost 11%. YumC, Yum China Holdings, is a Chinese stock with good earnings, supposedly, if you believe it. YumC. $2 billion company, Sono, is up almost 10% on low volume. which is Sonos, and it's up from 16 hit from yesterday's close was 1650-ish, and now it's 1820. It hit 20. So that's a pretty strong move. A lot of potential, but from the way I see the chart, volume is really thin. It's just not enough volume. But these are some of the things that are moving this morning. $52 billion company, Fortinet, posted, I suppose, good earnings and is up almost 10% in pre-market. It was 67.50 yesterday at the close, and it hit almost 80. It hit 79 roughly in pre-market. It's now at 74. It was 68. It's now at 74. So it's been fading and fading and fading and fading. Kind of leveled out here at 74. Gap analysis on that would say that it probably should sell off from the open. However, we're near the 200 moving average. A lot of support here. Yeah, my guess is if it doesn't even sell off at the open, it's going to have a crunchy time over the next week or two anyway, or maybe month or two this quarter. It's going to be a little bit crunchy, but it's up. You know, the investors are excited about it and about what transpired on the ER. And there might be a swing trade available to you there. And especially if we're wrong and it just, you know, just a nice green run today, then that's like easy put credit spread if it has the liquidity or for a swing trade with shares. All right, continuing on, Fortinet Saito, we got Ford at 49 billion market cap. It is up almost 6% on good volume. You would expect that, but a nice liquid company. It was at $12, now it's at $12.76. So you mean the ADR on this is 2.7%. You know, it's a very slow moving company, and now the ER is released, it's, you know, maybe they'll be excited for the next few days, but for the most part, it's going to calm down in volatility and it's going to be really slow. It's Ford. It's an investment. It's not really a tradable stock. It's not for trading. $2.5 billion company up 5% more. MOR. ELF is up 4%, $10 billion. We've been following ELF. ELF with positive earnings. That's, you know, it hasn't missed. Well, I think out of the last 10 earnings releases, it gapped up every time except for one particular time where it just didn't gap up. It didn't gap down, but it didn't gap up. So it would have been good, you know, potentially to bet on ELF making a move, and it did, because 9 times out of 10 it does gap up. But ELF, just like the amazing stock of the year, well, since May of last year to today, we're talking 765%. That's basically almost in 2 years. It's like a year and a half. 700. So ELF is incredible. You know, plenty of swing trades there. You get the entries, you scalp it out, and then you get the entry and you scalp it out. You know, you get in for a couple of days and then you're out. Let it run. You get in for a couple of days and then you're out and let it run. You know, you just got to watch for pullbacks and be stalking it, and it's an easy one to continue to move on and get swing trades in until it's not. All right, and also in our hot lists, pre-market here, how many minutes we got? We got 14 minutes before the open. Okay, we've got XPO is up 8% in pre-market. I think I gave XPO Lotto puts alert. Let's see. XPO or Lotto, yeah, puts, but that didn't happen. It went the other way. Well, that's why those are Lottos. And XPO is up 8% in pre-market. And it's also another stock that's been on a wonderful run. There's ELF, Howell, yeah, not enough volume. AHG has been doing great. Oh, it's fell back. It's pulled back lately. AHG after really popping. Waterford or something. Weatherford International, WFRD. Nah, I don't like that chart. When I talk about I don't like the chart, I'm pretty much almost always talking about the daily chart, not intraday. PanW, that's been a great stock, Palo Alto Networks. It is up, not on earnings, but it is up in pre-market about 3.5%, coming out of a little consolidation area. It's a bit low on, it's a bit light on volume, but this could be an entry spot depending on how much you wanted it, how much you're stocking it. It's a 2.5% ADR, so it's a little bit too much of a slow mover to beat the market. ZI, SYM, that pretty much does it. Let's go take a look at the market itself and figure out where we are in things, in the grand scheme of things. Okay, both SPY and QQQ are perched at all-time highs. I believe it's all-time highs. Let me double check. Okay, definitely on the Qs and on the growth market. Double check on SPY. Yeah. So both, so all the markets, I'm sure the Dow is sitting the same then. Yeah, all markets are currently perched right at all-time highs, ready to break and make the news. New all-time highs on the market, and there'll be talk of panic and recession and anything that the wealthy and the elite can tell you to try to get you to get out of that market, to sell and give them all your money, because we're just beginning this business cycle. This is just the beginning. The Fed hasn't even started lowering rates yet, and that's the beginning. And then we go on a 2 to 11 year run. So don't fall for the propaganda, guys. But also, you do want to be allocated into like a TLT or bonds, long-term, long-duration bonds, before the Fed starts lowering rates, because those bonds will go up 50% to double as we lower rates. And if you were allocated into bonds, if there was a war or an economic crash or a recession, the Fed would eventually lower rates to stimulate the economy down to 0% or 0.25% or even 1%. And that will cause those bonds to double plus at that point in value. And so, bonds right now are excellent crash protection, and it's what you want to be allocated in. I'm entirely in bonds. I'm 100% plus allocated all in on bonds, long duration. And that's a trade you can make every 10 to 15 years, for roughly 12 years. Every 12 years, the cycle will allow you to go ahead and mass allocate into bonds just before the Fed starts lowering rates. And then once they it's the easiest trade in the world because it's federally mandated. It's the easiest fucking trade you could ever take in your life, and most people won't even do it. It's federally mandated. They're drawing the dot graph and telling you exactly where things will be in the future, and people still won't do it. And anyway, maybe it'll take you 1 or 12 or 25 or 35 years to finally understand that. But I'm all in on bonds, long duration, and to double and triple my money in a year. And I can just only tell you guys how it works, and you can make your own decisions. All right, so the market anyway is perched right to hit all-time highs right at the open. I don't know what's going to transpire with that. If we start running out of the 1 minute opening range breakout, that may be the direction that we take on the day. If we bleed out right from the open, then you'd be wanting to look for some kind of a 5-minute dip by entry if the market, you think it's going to be bullish at all for whatever reason. And that can be just a signal, by the way. It can be like a thumbs up or a green light when that happens. You don't have to trade the market. But that is another thing that you can do. You can do with futures, or you can do with zero DTEs, options, shares on TQQQ, however you want to do it. You can. But it can be just simply a green light signal when that happens for anything else that you're looking to get in, which could be high growth stocks and the likes. Well, all right. We're pretty much all caught up here, and it is 9 minutes before the open, so we're set and ready. And those are all the things that it could be okay to take a look at things like Apple and Magnificent Seven. Apple, we're in since a couple of days ago. I'm in it via a put credit spread. It had a massive reclaim, and that was a signal. And so we're in Apple, and that's moving along nice and swimmingly. I'm up 41% on that of max profit. And then we've got Netflix, which had great earnings recently. And we have the never look back technique on that, going put credit spread on that as well. And that one, Netflix, we're up 26% max profit. Microsoft had earnings a couple days ago, and it's been chopping sideways. It was already extended, and so we're just looking for a decent kind of resting period on Microsoft, and then an entry. Any kind of strong catalyst type of day could constitute an entry day as well. So if it doesn't happen in the next few weeks, where we get a nice surgical entry, before then we might get some kind of a catalyst day entry, and you wouldn't want to ignore that. It'd be very nice. You could get Carl, what is it? There's a new ETF, I believe, for Microsoft that's even more than 1.5x leveraged. I think there's a 2x leverage or 1.75x leveraged Microsoft ETF you can get if you want to trade that one. Microsoft, Nvidia super long in the tooth. Earnings coming up in 2 weeks. It's probably not going anywhere. Nobody's going to do anything with it. Oh, by the way, that ticker, Carl just responded, is MSFX. So instead of MSFT, it's MSF Extra. All right. So now back to Nvidia. Nvidia is up on a run right now. It has made a move of 47% in just 34 days, in a month. It's made a move of 34% in 23 trading days. I'm sorry, 47%, almost 50% in that time. It's got earnings coming up. Nobody's going to go anywhere before earnings. Or if they are, they're going to get right up to before earnings, hoping for a run up, an earnings run up, which has already happened. But, it's probably going to hold these levels for the next 2 weeks. The trade on Nvidia will present itself if there is one on ER beforehand, but I don't think there's going to be a pre-play trade on Nvidia ER, probably. Possibly puts, lotto puts, but even then, it's more important that we just simply pay attention to how it comes out of the gate on ER, and potentially get some kind of allocation on however that is. We'll know more about that in a couple weeks. Nvidia, Netflix, Microsoft, Apple. What am I missing? Amazon. Anybody else? Amazon looking good. This is an easy put credit spread, never look back type of trade, although it has been pecking at the low end of that first day's ER low of the day. Usually, but not always, but usually the majority of the time on those ER surprise big days, catalyst day releases, especially if they're pivot breakouts, become never look back days, and you don't break the low of that day. It's reliable, but it also fails some of the time. Nothing works 100% of the time. In life, that's the way. There's nothing that works 100% of the time. All right, what am I missing? Amazon, Netflix, Microsoft, Nvidia, Apple. That's 5. There should be a 7. But I wouldn't mind taking a look at AMD. Okay, that's been going sideways. I would take a put credit spread on that if it gave me a nice catalyst entry signal day. Palantir, yeah, it reported yesterday that had a never look back day. So put credit spreads on Palantir at the end of the day yesterday were perfect, and you could still do that even today. If the theta decay difference on that will be minor. You could easily slap a PCS on Palantir on day 2 here, and it looks like a really strong ER day 1. Carl, we keep losing you. What else? But what were the other ones? Okay, so Netflix. Let's just look them up real quick. I'm not sure who I'm forgetting. Magnificent 7 stocks. Apple, Amazon, Google, of course, Google and Meta. Thank you. Thank you, Internet. So Google is sitting after earnings. It pulled back substantially, but it has reclaimed quite nicely and is now slowly filling the gap. I think you could take a put credit spread at about 140 on that. 140 levels probably will not be hit in the next 21 days, and that's about the period you're looking for uh, for your um, for your options trades. I don't see a reliable shares trade other than fill the gap, but I think the PCS would be a much easier way to go. Meta, Meta now, I did get the put credit spread on the ER day on that, and that's one of the only ones of the Magnificent Seven which is not holding that low of the day, never look back period. I'm about to cut it. It's really close to breaking that low of the day, so today might be my cut day for Meta. But anything can happen. All of a sudden it can get back up. And if it did, by the way, get above 467, that would be an entry signal in case you missed it. You would have to set your stop to the low of the ER day a couple days ago. If you did get in on shares on a signal like that, if it broke 467, was it 467? Yeah, 467. And so your stop would be something like 453. That's the low of the day on Meta when it opened. Well, it got down to 453 and picked up from there. So 467 to 453 is $14 a risk per share. And so you size your risk accordingly, ideally to maximum of 1% of your portfolio for risk of loss. All right, that's the 1% rule. So that's Apple, Amazon, Google, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla. There's the other one. All right, let's take a look at Tesla. It's always good to get up to date on Tesla. We got a minute and 40 seconds before the market opens. Tesla's kind of putting in bottom entry signals down here. It isn't really fully fleshed out yet, but it's really, really damn close. We're getting over Gamma today, probably, which is at 189. And so there could be some entry on Tesla. You don't want to put your stop at 175. So it's a pretty wide amount of risk. And so this would be a nice long swing trade of at least 2 weeks, I would say, or a PCS. You'd want to see a nice strong day if you're going to go PCS, because it's been in a downtrend and it's kind of bottoming, but there still could be some gravity to the downside. So you want to see a really strong day, just sort of make the possibility of it breaking a new low in the next few weeks sort of negated. Even if it struggles, a strong day should keep it away from the low that it's made recently, and that would be enough for you to make money on a PCS over the next few weeks. It might not be enough for you to make money long on shares, but that's okay. That's what PCSs are for. All right, so that's it. Market's opening in 20 seconds. Let's go. Anybody got any questions? All good, Bob, on Palantir? All right, we're watching QQQ before the open, and all-time highs are about to be made. All right, excellent. This list is spookily empty. Hopefully it fills up. I don't know why it's empty. Let's see if it fills up right here at the open. I don't like that list being empty. That's one of my favorite lists. What happened to it? All right out of the gate, we've got about a majority red move off of the open. And yes, the indexes are bleeding a little bit. Okay, I got an alert on SLGN. I'm going to go take a look at it. Silgan Holdings. What alert would I want on that? It doesn't look amazing to me. What is it? Moving over the 200 moving average. I see. That must have been an alert from a long time ago, because I don't love it right now. Yeah. Gonna take that alert off of my alerts. Your alert list won't load. There may be a connection issue. Please click refresh. Oh. Okay. Nope, that didn't help it. All right. Whatever. And now we're back on Palantir for some reason. XPO. All right. What were we watching for the 1 minute opening range push? Was that XPO? That might have been XPO. Okay, we're bleeding off of the open, so we may have hit a new all-time high, but it was only for a split second. And this is exactly what we were talking about. Possible long signal entry on a 5-minute dip by signal on the market. That might take 15, it could take 10 minutes, could take 6 minutes, but it might take 15, 30, 45 minutes, probably 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens here. But the first minute is in. It is red, and we have broken to the downside of that first minute opening range candle, which is kind of a bearish short-term signal, very short-term signal. You know, you're lucky if you get 7 candles of follow through. So, you know, a signal on the 1-minute chart gives you about, you're lucky if it gives you 7 minutes of forecast. You know, so, but a 5-minute, you know, times 7 is 35 minutes of forecast on the maximum. So we're already into like the 5-minute candle now. So even if we were to reverse on the 1 minute and break to the upside, we'd still need the 5-minute candle to form and then break over on the 6th minute. And ideally, we'd love that break to be timed somewhere near the 4th minute of a 5-minute candle. So that would be minute 9 from the open in the case of just 2 candlesticks, 5-minute candlesticks. But usually we hope for some kind of a maybe 3 or 4 or 5 candlestick formation on the 5 minutes, which would be about 20 minutes through into the open. And it's just a little bit more true, a little bit less volatile, more faithful of a signal. And move this over here. All right, well, that'll be interesting. All right, and the market is pulling back more. Yeah, this list is not loading. I'm going to have to reload it. It was the 1 month 20%, 2 month 30% list. So, all right, I'm going to have to reload that. So I have to switch it to something else. And then bring it back up. 1 month, there we go. Now, let's see if it works. There we go, that worked. All right, and we're sorted by the open again. Loading. All right, so the top of that list is TME, Tal Adu. Tal again is a Chinese stock. TME, I forget, is that a Chinese stock? By the way, the market is still pulling back red, which is just fine, but we are getting a topping signal forecast. So this could mean this is the top of a chop area. We keep losing Carl. All right, TME. Nah, not too fanatical about TME. Core. Okay, core is day 2 ER follow through, looking really great for day 2 ER follow through. That's when it breaks the high of the prior day after ER. ER day 2 follow through. So that's a strategy, and then you put your stop to the bottom of the first day of ER or some reasonable point. It is a very low liquidity name. So anyway, the trade is there though. Palantir, is it doing a day 2 follow through? It sure is. It just got through the open of yesterday. The close of yesterday. So Palantir is on a day 2 follow through. Did I get any for the PCS on that? No, I did not. So I'm going to go place my PCS on Palantir now. And I'm looking for basically the 2019 probably. 45 days is the weekly, which will be too illiquid. I'll double check that. Open interest is a bit low. I could do it. It's a bit low. I might mix them. Let's go with the 15th of March though, and that's 37 days. That should be all right. All right, sell, buy, and we're looking at about a 33% return on credit. So that's pretty nice. I'm gonna check the how many contracts do I need there? It looks like I might go with the 18 just to widen it out a little bit. There we go. And now, yeah, even that I could get 6 contracts on. I mean, God, it's really blasting right now. It'd be great to get in right now, but I got to change it to 2017, I think. And let's go down to 5 contracts. I might even have to go down to 4. I'm just sizing and getting my width set up right here. You don't want to be too thin. You don't want to be too wide. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay, so I'm getting the 2017, 4 contracts of those. $1,000 allocation. Go. And there we are. I'm filled. And that was, let me go take a look. I didn't even really check the ROC on that. What's expected? Go back, filled orders. So 42 for a $3 spread. So that's about 16% return on capital. But I really like how I set that up. The sensitivity on the Greeks will be nice. You can go 2019 if you want max ROC, ROC. Max ROC would be around 33% at $24 per spread. But the thing is, you'd need to buy probably about 3 times as many contracts, maybe 10, 15, 20 contracts, depending on your size. For each side, so that's 40. Now, if you ever need to roll that, that's 40 contracts. To be rolled, that means 80 contracts just to roll it one time, 80 contracts. So you're kind of setting yourself up badly when you get in that situation. But if you're smaller size, then you should be okay. But what I'm saying is because 80 times 65 cents a contract, that's $52 right there just to roll it. And do that twice or 3 times, you get $150 out of your, who knows, like $500 of expected return. You're really cutting into your return. So that's why I picked the $3 spread instead of a $1 spread. But yeah, there goes Palantir, and I'm just gonna let that bake. I gotta take a look at MSTR. Okay, it's moving down. I'm gonna probably have to release some of my options on that. Let's see, what do I have here? Well, yeah, it's like right in the middle of like perfect indecision land right now. Probably should just cut it all. Definitely can release this put, but I'm sure it's worthless. Let's see. All right, well, it still has a little bit of value. Oh, I was grabbing the wrong one. I was gonna say no, it doesn't, but yeah, I was grabbing the wrong one. Okay, get rid of that. Reclaim a little bit of those funds. All right, that's no longer there. And now the calls are perfect, but the puts I might need to close here. And that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to close the put side. And I should have really closed that before earnings. So do as I say, not as I do kind of thing. 693. Let's see if I can get that. I'll try. Snap? Sure. Let's go take a look at Snap. Oh boy. Snap with a huge drop. That's right. Yesterday we were looking at that $11 yesterday, and now it's opening at 12. Now let's see. It was going sideways, so we should actually expect this to be bought up. Gap theory would tell us that this should be bought up, and also it's landing right on the 200 MA. I would expect it to hang around this area or get bought up and fill some gap over the next month. And so Snap could be a PCS type of situation. It would be easy to just wait and get in at the end of the day if it was a nice green bullish catalyst day bottom. And that would really cement 1180 as a bottom for the next few weeks on Snap if that happened. So you don't have to rush to it now. Or you can get a little bit now and a little bit at the close of the market. But if you have day trading, pattern day trading restriction on your account, you don't want to start getting in if you're going to have to get out the same day, because then you blow a day trade. And you can only have 3 day trades in a 5-day trailing period with the pattern day trading limitation. All right, the Palantir PCS is already up. I'll go tuck that into my options trades there. Okay. And I did not get that fill on MSTR. I am looking forward to getting out of it. Let's see if they'll give me this price. Yeah, they did. Okay. All right, I even got a price improvement. All right, so that puts that to rest. Doing really good on Meta, apparently. We were talking about how Meta, if it fell, I would need to sell, but I think it might be going the other way. Yeah. It's getting really close to that signal we talked about. What was it, 467, with a stop at 453. 467. Okay, let's get the exact number here. Hi, 467, if it can break it, and 453 for a stop. Meta. So that could be a potential trade. Let me type that out for you. Meta 467 signal 453 stop. So when that hits, you've got yourself a secondary chance to get in if you didn't get in on ER day one, which I did. And you can do with that whatever you want. You can start a PCS up at that point, or you can get some shares and set your stop to the stop. I would probably, it depends, but I would probably respect that stop even with a PCS, because we're hoping for follow through. All right, let's take a look at the market again. Okay, so we've got 3 5-minute candles forming here. And what is this minute we're on right now? Okay, we're about to close out the third 5-minute candle. And the top of this 5-minute candle currently is 429.70 on the Qs. So if 429.70 breaks in the next 5 minutes, then that could potentially be an entry signal on the 5 minutes. And you don't necessarily need to trade the market, but it could just simply be a green light signal. You can use signals, entry signals. You can use signals however you want. Signals can be for entry, or they can just be for signals. And then from there, you can either do shares or you can do credit spreads. There's a lot of ways to use what you know. Okay, we are on that next candlestick, and it looks like it wants to break the low. It's got a lot of force. And besides, it's only 1 minute in. I mean, like I said, you really want your signal on a 5-minute signal type of signal to be coming from the 4th or 5th minute of the 5-minute candlestick. If it comes from the 1st or 2nd minute, it just might not hold. It's not as good of a signal. Meta Snow is making some progress for me. I need to take a look at that. Okay, yeah. It's marching its way right into the middle of my mouth of my rolled iron condor. That's fine. Apple is doing well, right? Even though it's pulling back, I'm actually up because of theta decay on that put credit spread. Making money every day on Apple. DWAC also up, even though it's down just a smidge, and that's again because I have a PCS on that. KKR, okay, ON. That's looking really good. All right. We're already up 7% on the Palantir spread. So is Palantir moving up then? Yep, it is. It broke out of the day one ER high and is doing a day two ER follow through. RJ is really good at those. RJ, is he here this morning? No, he's not. But RJ is really well practiced at day two ER follow through entries. And usually that's when you stack some more on your position from a day one ER, end of day strong pattern signal. And of course, he learned that from me. STNE. Looking good. QuantumScape. Okay, giving back a little bit, but still riding my break-even line. Love the great day up it had yesterday. Zillow. Doing fine. Got earnings coming up. Hoping it'll firm up just before earnings. And then I'll get out before earnings. XBI still progressing. We're up 5% on that put credit spread. You remember that when we put that on about 2 or 3 weeks ago? XBI, that's an index. That's the biotech index. And we're presuming when we got in way back here on this signal that we were getting in near the bottom of a consolidation area, which is a great place to get some credit spread, some put credit spread. And hopefully it stays around there or goes up. Either of those scenarios work. And that's one of those situations where it just was a nice setup for that. Gap is just riding this put credit spread, basically a long position that I got at the bottom of this pullback, sort of the second time it's trying to get up off of this little consolidation. And the reason why we give that a lot of merit and we give it a try is because this huge move in such a small amount of time for retail stock, that's incredible. 122% in 2 months. So it's not quite a holy grail, but it's damn close. It's kind of like Holy Grail's cousin. And it's like, pretty good pullback too. Let's check the retrace on that. Retrace was 30%. That's really good. It held 2/3 of its value and then consolidated into about 1/3 of the move. That's fine. Obviously a Holy Grail at 20% pullback or even 10% pullback is way better, but not bad for a cousin of the Holy Grail. All right. D-Dog moving along nicely. CrowdStrike moving along nicely. All right, now off of the open, let's just double check anything else that's strong off of the open. Make sure we don't miss it today. YPF, because they could have very good charts. Nope, that one does not. Palantir XPO. XPO, did we get some XPO? I talked about it. I don't know if I got any. Yeah, XPO is flying. So I was kind of saying that like at the end of the day, you could slap on a PCS on XPO. But I might get a small position now and then add on to it later. Let me just take a look at the liquidity on the options on that XPO. It's already traded 1,621 options, so it's going to do about 6,000 by the end of the day or plus. So that's liquid enough. And you just got to get down to the brass tacks and look at the chain and see. So what I would want to get is probably the 105-100 if that's what it's offering. Okay, and that's a 32 delta, which would be nice and aggressive. So it's a very interesting spot to get it. And then the open interest on that is really thin. It's only 10. But the volume today has been 12. So it'll be 22 by tomorrow. The 25, the really strong ones are the 95s. But the spread is not terrible, but it is a little bit on the 100. What could I get here? Let's see. 135 for 365. 135 for 365. That's 37% return on a 34 delta. Yeah, that's pretty good. And this is XPO, so I will get one to start here. And there we go, got that fill. And if it stays strong, maybe I'll get another one midday and cap it off because I would get about 3 of these, and cap it off at the end of the day to fill in the position. And this could be one of those never look back levels. I mean, and I'm even picking the 105, 100. If you look at this chart here, the 105 is like right here, which is well below the low. And the 100 is down here, and it's a spread. So, we can dip in there and I'll still be alive. Now, if I draw that entry, that's till March 15th. Right here, it was the 105 minus $1.35. So 104, 103, 65 is my break even. So I put that there, and then I grab the template, right click, and grab my template, put credit spread. Boom, and it draws that in for me. So now I know that's my break even line from this entry. And that's it's a nice, I wouldn't say it's super steep, but it's a nice steep break even line that I could live with for sure. Elf, Hal, HG, Palantir, Core, TME, SE. I don't know if that chart's really been shaping up lately. Let's see. Sometimes you just got to take a second look at things. No, it definitely hasn't. PBF, is that Permian Basin? No, that's another one. PBF Energy, no, that's not really set up nicely. Saya's pretty nice. If you can catch it breaking out, which we didn't, and it's in a nice run now, and the earnings have really been following it through. But what's nice here is this long base it was in. That's very useful. Consolidation period. Beautiful. Came back down to as the 200 caught up, bounced right off it. Yeah, this was good stuff. It's too bad we missed it. That's a pretty good one. 4% ADR, and the last move it made was 63% in 68 days. So it's roughly 1% per day. Pretty damn good. It's actually better than that when you count just trading days. Sentinel-1. Yeah, this is rather holy grailish. It looks like just at a glance. 4.2% ADR. This move from here to here. No, it's not. It was not. It was 85% in 46 days. But the pullback was pretty good. We're getting a little bit too close to earnings now to be able to do something with it. It's pretty nice looking though. AppF. This has been one that has been alerted. It's been on our radar. Outstanding. I don't know if I have it right now. Let me see. I just might not have had of liquid funds to allocate at the time. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, we're up 15% to max profit already on XPO. That's how fast you can hit max profits with accelerated gains on these credit spreads. People thinking, you can't make money like you can with long shares. You definitely can because of the sensitivity to delta and gamma, if we must talk about it. AppF, if I look back through our group, ABPF, I believe I gave an entry if I did not call one out. Yeah, on the 26th, AppF is up 15% in pre on ER, situating it at all-time high breakout levels. And it should be bought up and run green via gap theory and be in a domino setup. And so that was way back here on this green day. And it's really tightening up nicely. This move alone in 2 days was 33% in 2 days. And then the flag pullback was very small, very tight, like 5%. So that's a high tight flag move after ER. Everything's really good. You should be stalking that. You should be figuring out how to get in. You should already be in on AppF. It's looking outstanding. All right, and on that note, let's move back into the group. Thank you very much. And let's take a quick look at the market, see if it finally did do a 5-minute signal. It did, and it has now failed that out. No, it almost failed it out. It's probably going to fail it out. And so that's a fake out type of day. That's a strike one. It's not a good sign when that happens. It means tricky, choppy, um, lying, manipulative kind of day. We have another name for those kinds of people, but that's what it is. Nope. Yeah. So that's what you can expect. It's the motion has been set. So anything can happen. Some news can come out, some sentiment can change, a big upgrade on some company, and then all of a sudden the whole market's like, "Oh, I love the stock market again." Things can change in a day, anytime, and so keep your eye on the market, as always. But it looks like the market wants to just not do it today and play with you like a little mouse. So I would be careful and take everything with a grain of salt. Okay, everybody. Hopefully that orientates you for the day. As always, see you back in the group. Be good.